All right, what's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Powerhouse Mentality Podcast, but also week 3 of the Powerhouse Reset of 2025. So for everybody who's watching this in the Facebook group, whether you're watching it live, whether you're watching it on replay, whether you're watching it on the YouTube channel, I want you guys to be excited. I want you to be excited because we're on week 3 of 2025 and you're still here. You're still here. So be proud of that, all right? Because not enough people actually celebrate their wins along the way, and that's one of the biggest reasons why people fail, because they feel like they're not going anywhere because they never take a moment to stop and feel grateful for the work that they put in and for the results that they've earned. So take a moment, pat yourself on the back, and celebrate whatever the biggest win for this week was for you. But guys, today, the topic of the day, the topic of the week is eating for performance and longevity. And I want to talk about eating for performance and longevity, even though a lot of the people who are listening to this, who are watching this, have a fat loss goal or a weight loss goal. We're talking about performance and longevity because when you eat for performance, when you eat for longevity, the fat loss, the weight loss generally happens quickly and you actually get the body that you want, but I'll explain. So we're talking about fueling your body in order to crush your workouts and setting yourself up for a strong, healthy future. What I see all too often in the fitness industry, in the health industry, in the wellness industry, whatever you want to call it, whatever they're calling it now on social media. I've been in this industry for over a decade. And the biggest thing that I have against it is that there's so much promotion to restricting yourself. And it causes harm to people, not just physically, which I've had happen to myself, right? I almost died of an eating disorder. I was 89 pounds at 5'6" because of all of the restrictive habits that I placed on myself through what I saw on social media. You know, don't eat carbs, don't eat fats, don't eat fruit, don't eat this, don't eat that. It was never, hey, eat more whole foods. Hey, eat more of this, drink more water. Like, it was always, don't do that, don't do this. And it led to that restrictive mindset, which always felt like everything that I was doing was wrong. And I feel like you can probably relate to this. How many of you, comment down below, have felt like they don't know what to do because they hear so much information thrown at them, where you scroll through social media, you see one reel that says, don't eat meat, be a vegan, which is the dumbest thing you can do, just saying, unless you have some sort of a moral issue. For fat loss, for longevity, for health, veganism is not healthy. But then the next reel you scroll to, you'll see somebody saying carnivore is the way to go, which again, not a healthy diet, not something you can sustain long-term for most people. Most people have trouble living in a calorie deficit, let alone doing carnivore where they can only eat meat. Now, does it work for a lot of people? It does, because it's literally the ultimate elimination diet. So people feel so good on it for a short period of time because they cut out all the crap. And now they're eating whole nutrient-dense foods. So I relate this back to my personal story because when I first got into the fitness industry, like I said, I was focused on becoming a smaller version of myself. I was focused on becoming as small as possible, take up as little space as possible, make that number on the scale be as small as possible. And it led to me almost dying of an eating disorder because of it. And me still dealing with physical repercussions from that, hormone dysfunction, gut dysfunction, joint dysfunction, all these things that I have to deal with today because of the damage that I did to my body, but also the mental and emotional damage that I did to myself. My relationship with food is not great. I wish I could say it was amazing, but it isn't. Now, I truly believe that if somebody has had an eating disorder or had some sort of disordered eating, you never truly recover from it, but you do become stronger and more resilient to those thoughts. And that's where I'm at. Like, I don't restrict, but I still have those thoughts, especially when I'm excessively stressed about, you don't need food, or overthinking things like, oh, you don't want to get fat. Like, all of these things that don't make any sense. However, one of the biggest mindset shifts that's helped me personally with my journey, with my relationship with food, and with my results, is when I stopped focusing on becoming as small as possible and started focusing on how can I fuel my body to perform as well as it possibly can, to get as strong as I possibly can. And you may think, well, Caitlin, You're a CrossFit athlete. You're trying to become a competitive athlete. I am not trying to become a competitive athlete. However, if you are training hard in the gym, if you're working out at all, and you have intent and effort towards your workouts, which I'm assuming everybody who's listening to this, everybody who's in this group does. You don't go to the gym just to fucking waste your time. You go to the gym to get results. You're going to the gym to get results. However, you come home and you restrict yourself or you eat too little calories because that's the right way to do it when it's not. And now you're not giving your body substantial fuel to push yourself in your workouts. You're not giving your body substantial fuel to recover from your workouts or to build muscle. And that's a problem. That is why you feel stuck in this cycle and why you've been trying to lose the same 10 to 20 pounds for the past 10 years. Or you're like, I really want to get lean and toned, but for some reason, I can't build muscle. You can't build muscle because you're not giving your body adequate fuel to do so. And that's kind of where I want to start, because performance nutrition matters. And even if you're not an athlete, your body needs fuel to perform. You're working out, you're training hard. So without enough energy, you can't train hard. If you're not training hard with intent, with effort, you're not going to be able to get the best results possible because you're not pushing your body hard enough. Now, I don't want to say like you need to be in excessive pain and you need to be suffering during your workouts, because that's not true. If you're going into your workouts and you feel like garbage every time you leave, you're not doing the appropriate volume. You're doing too much. And a good workout is not indicated by how much you sweat, how sore you are, how much you hurt. That's not correct. How you earn results is based on adaptation. Okay? So when you apply stress through the form of strength training, your body recovers and adapts, which means you earn results. You get stronger the next time. You build more muscle. That's how it works. However, if there's too much stress applied where your body cannot appropriately recover, then no adaptation will occur and you'll just kind of be bashing your face into the ground with absolutely zero repercussion from it. You will get nothing for the hard work that you're doing. However, recovery starts with nutrition. Recovery starts with stress management and with sleep. So nutrition is the biggest piece of this. So in order for you to recover properly, you need to focus on fueling your body appropriately. So think of yourself like a high-performance car. You could be a Ferrari, you could be a Lamborghini, whatever the fuck you want to be. I would be a Lamborghini. Do I want a Lamborghini one day? No, probably not, because I think that vehicle would drive me. But, let's use this example. If you're a high-performance car, would you fuel your Ferrari, your Lamborghini? Would you throw shit fuel, cheap gasoline in there? No, you'd be buying the premium shit. And that's the same way I want you to think of your body. Your body is a engine. Your body is a machine. You got to fuel it to function properly, to function at its best, to perform at its best. It's kind of like if I were going to buy a shitty laptop and expect it to perform at a high quality, or if let's actually fix that analogy. If I were to buy the highest quality laptop, the most expensive laptop, but then I got the worst Wi-Fi, it's not going to work. It's not going to work the way that it should work. Same thing with your fuel, with your body, with your nutrition. So let's break down each macronutrient briefly, because this isn't a foundational nutrition podcast or video, but I do want to break down the macros and show you guys how they actually help your body perform better. So we have your proteins, we have your carbohydrates, and we have your fats. So your protein, the function of protein, it repairs muscle and supports growth. So anything in your body that requires growth, repair, rebuilding, requires muscle or requires protein. So if you did not eat protein, you will actually die. Protein and fats are essential nutrients. Technically, you could live without carbs. You would be a very, very, very angry person. But you could technically live without carbs. You would also have very, very little energy to do anything. However, if you were stuck in the desert and you had absolutely no food, you killing an animal would be much more beneficial because it does have protein and essential fats versus if I were to just eat, fruit all day long. So ideal sources of protein, we got your chicken breast, we got beef, we got steak, we got eggs, we got fish, we got any sort of animal meat. We have Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, high quality whey protein. And I want to emphasize high quality because while supplement companies are getting better, there are a lot of great supplement companies out there who produce good quality products. There are still shitty supplement companies out there. So what I always recommend to my clients is First Form. And it's what I use myself because it's the only protein powder that doesn't mess my stomach up. And I trust that. So I'll put that link down below. If you are somebody who struggles with your protein, you can go ahead and get some protein that is not only delicious, but won't make your stomach feel like a chemical lab. Now, the amount that you aim for in protein is going to be determined on the individual. So if you have a goal weight of 150 pounds, you want to eat 150 grams of protein a day. However, again, it's different for everybody. Now, I like to say 1 gram per pound of your goal body weight because it's a simple fucking number to hit. If you're hitting that consistently and you're somebody who trains a lot, you're an athlete, maybe you do a little bit more. But for most of the people who are listening to this, 1 gram per pound of your ideal body weight in protein is where you want to aim for. And breaking it up into 30 to 50 grams per meal every single day is going to be even more beneficial for you. So if you are, again, your goal weight's 150 and you have 3 meals a day, 50 grams of protein per meal. If your 150 pound is your goal and you have 5 meals a day, then 30 grams of protein per meal is going to help you get to your goal. Don't overcomplicate it. Just keep it simple, okay? Now, when it comes to carbohydrates, these are arguably one of the most important things when it comes to performance. And I know so many people fear carbs, and I used to fear carbs. Hi, I am a carb fear recovery person, whatever AA says. I've never been to an AA meeting. But the function of carbohydrates, it is the primary energy source for your body, for your brain, for your workouts, okay? So some of the best choices is any whole food, right? If it has one ingredient, oats, sweet potatoes, rice, quinoa, fruits like bananas, apples, berries, whatever fruit you prefer. And you want to make sure for your workout's sake, you are always having a carbohydrate before you train. If you are training fasted, you are training inefficiently. Have some sort of carb. It doesn't have to be crazy. If you wake up at 4 a.m. to work out, because that's the only time that you have some sort of a liquid carbohydrate. A lot of supplement companies make phenomenal liquid carbohydrates. First Form makes something called Ultraformance. Another brand, BPN, makes something called G1M Sport, which are both phenomenal products. If you want to have some food, you can have a banana. You can have a rice cake with a little bit of honey on it. Don't overthink it. But before you work out, before you train, before you're about to push your body, make sure you have some sort of a carb source, and make sure immediately after your workout, you're also having a carbohydrate source and a protein source, okay? Protein is great after a workout. I feel like everybody here has heard, like, I have a protein shake after my workout. Great, but if you're not having a carb with the protein shake, you're not getting the most benefit. I was even having this conversation with the client last night. She was super sore, and then she started adding in the carbohydrate and realized, oh shit, that's why I was so sore, because I wasn't recovering, because I wasn't giving my body the carbs that it needed to replenish what it lost. So I always recommend having a high quality protein and a fast digesting carb after your workouts. I take the post-workout stack by First Form. I've been taking it for 4 years. And there's a reason why I've been taking it for 4 years, because it fucking helps. And the only reason why I always recommend a supplement post-workout, and that's really the only time I would ever recommend a supplement over whole food, is because of the rate of digestion. So it just digests much more quickly. And then within the next hour, you're having a whole food meal that's full of protein, that's full of good carbs, and has minimal fat. Just around your workouts, you want to have minimal fats because it slows down digestion. But fats are absolutely essential for your life, okay? So fats function, the primary function is supporting hormones and providing endurance for low intensity stuff. So if I'm sitting here, I'm probably burning more fat than carbs. But again, everybody's different. So some people just burn more carbs, some people burn more fats, but we're not going to overcomplicate it. I'm going to keep it as simple as possible. Now, healthy options for fats: avocados, olive oil, butter, fatty fish, fattier cuts of meats, nuts, seeds, things like that. And again, don't overcomplicate it, right? Now, when it comes to your pre-workout nutrition, we already kind of spoke about that, making sure you're getting something in and making sure you're having carbohydrates at least. Having a little bit of protein and carbs is even better. But I understand that some people wake up at the ass crack of dawn and they have no time. So having a little bit of protein, whether you're having like half a scoop of protein powder or a little bit of eggs or whatever you feel comfortable with having, and some sort of a carbohydrate, is going to be the best option for you. Before I work out, because I train at around 2 p.m. every day, I'm having about 120 grams of carbs before I even get into my workout. Now, again, I'm an athlete training for athletic goals. However, I want to just understand that carbs are not the enemy. Fats are not the enemy. Protein is not the only thing you should consume, because I think that a lot of people, when they start off on their fitness journey, they hear so much about protein that they start forgetting about carbs and fats and the importance of these things. Now, I want to shift gears and we're going to talk a little bit about eating for longevity. Now, longevity, aesthetics, and performance are three different corners of a triangle. So if you're going all in on longevity, then your aesthetics and your performance may take a hit. If you're going all in on performance, your aesthetics and your longevity might take a hit. However, most people fall like in the middle, right? We want to live longer. We want to perform better. We want to be stronger. We want to have a good body. So that's kind of where we're talking about. Now, when it comes to longevity, eating well doesn't just help you perform. It helps you avoid chronic disease. It helps you maintain muscle as you age. And muscle is the organ of longevity, and it helps you stay active for life. So some of the key topics that I want you guys to focus on when it comes to just eating for longevity and eating for performance, even so, is a whole food focus, reducing inflammation, having portion control and eating mindfully, focusing on your gut health, and building sustainable habits. So let's break each one down. All right, so whole food focus. I want you guys to think about building meals with lean protein, fiber-rich carbs, and healthy fats. So an example of this would be some grilled chicken, some roasted Brussels sprouts, some quinoa, drizzle it with olive oil. If you don't like quinoa like me, jasmine rice is my go-to, and I love it because it's easy on my stomach, and it's a really good source of carbs. And then what we want to do is we want to reduce inflammation. Generally, where inflammation comes from when it comes to the foods that we're eating is highly processed foods. So avoid hyper-palatable processed foods that come in a box. You can have them, but moderate them. All right, I don't want you to be like, oh, I'm afraid to eat these things now because Caitlin said it's bad for me. No, there is no good food. There is no bad food. There are more nutrient-dense foods and there are less nutrient-dense foods. However, I would be lying to you if there wasn't a difference between an Oreo cookie and a fucking piece of fruit. There is a difference. I don't care if the calories are the same. There's a big difference. The fruit is going to keep you more full. It has more fiber. It has more nutrients versus the Oreo, which is filled with a lot of shit that just makes you want to eat more shit. And it's very dense in calories, so it's easier to overconsume. So think of having more fruit, having more dark leafy greens, having fatty fish, which has omega-3s in it, which is going to help even further reduce inflammation. Same thing with grass-fed beef. And then berries are a phenomenal source of antioxidants, which again is another thing that helps to reduce inflammation. Now with portion control and eating mindfully, this is a big one that a lot of people miss on, especially if they start tracking macros and they start losing that ability to eat mindfully. So just think of having good etiquette when you're eating. So using smaller plates, eating slowly, stopping when you're full, not stopping when you're about to die because you're so fucking full. If I have a client who's like, Caitlin, I want to get results, but I don't want to track macros. I'm just not ready to track macros, whether they had some sort of disordered eating or they're just not into it. It's stressful for them, whatever it is. The biggest thing I have them focus on is protein, fiber, whole foods, and stopping when they're full, eating mindfully, eating without distractions, because those types of habits are going to be things that are going to help you actually listen to your hunger cues instead of blasting through them like most people do. Now, gut health. Gut health is something that a lot of us don't pay attention to because we have gut issues and we kind of brush them off because, oh, that's normal. But just because something is common doesn't mean it's normal. So a lot of people have gut issues. That doesn't mean that it's a normal thing that you should just accept. So adding fermented foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, Greek yogurt that have active cultures in them, and also having fiber. Fiber is an incredible thing. There are so many studies out there showing that fiber helps lower risk of all-cause mortality. There are people out there on social media, like all the carnivore people, who are going to go out and tell you fiber is not important. Fiber is very important. There are so many studies to back it up. So aiming for 25 to 30 grams daily is usually where I like to throw people. Everybody's, again, a little bit different. Some people can handle more. Some people can't handle as much, depending on how they feel digestion-wise. But getting it from fruits and vegetables is the main source that I want you guys to focus on. Because, you can look at a Quest protein bar. a highly processed thing that's basically a glorified candy bar, and it has like 10 grams of fiber, but that's not the kind of fiber that's going to make you feel good. That kind of fiber is not going to make you feel good at all. I'm sure all of us can relate to eating a Quest bar one day and feeling like we were going to die. I know that I can. And the final thing is sustainable habits. So starting small. So if you're not eating any vegetables or any fruits right now, add 1 serving a day. 1 serving is better than no servings. And then just build that up over time. It's kind of like we're stair-stepping our way up and building consistency in these habits. So these 2 things, performance and longevity, they are bridged together. So if you're training hard, eating protein is going to help you recover. And it's going to help you protect your muscle as you age, which again, muscle is the organ of longevity. And I really want you guys to focus on nutrient-dense carbs. So sweet potatoes, rice, quinoa, they don't just fuel your workouts, but they're packed with vitamins for long-term health. So if you're somebody, though, who is an athlete, having a quick source of carbohydrates during your training is going to help you too. I have fruit snacks during my training because if I had a sweet potato during my training session, that would not end very well. I need something quick that's going to help me perform. So again, it's like good, better, best scenario. But throughout your day, having high quality nutrient dense carbs is going to be super beneficial for you. So some action steps that I want to give you guys today is I want you to focus on pre-planning meals with performance and health in mind. So think, how is this going to help me perform better in the gym? How is this going to make me feel better throughout my life? And then I want you to look at your plate. I want you to build it properly. I want you to focus on a protein source, a colorful vegetable or fruit, and a quality carbohydrate, as well as healthy fats. So making sure you're really practicing balance and not just getting so obsessed with what you might see on social media. At the end of the day, if you focus on eating real nutrient-dense foods, you focus on fueling your workout, balancing out your macros, focusing on protein, fiber, whole foods, you're going to be okay. Start small, focus on consistency over perfection, like we always say. And thank you guys for joining. If you need anything, as always, let me know. Drop below in the comments what was the most beneficial part of this live for you guys, and go out and do one thing today that's going to take you one step closer to where you want to be.